So I would compare humans' capacity and ability to fall in love to a sticky note. So a brand new sticky note, the glue, the adhesive is maximally sticky. The first thing you stick it to, it will stay stuck to it the best. And then the more things you take it off and the more things you stick it to, the same sticky note, the less sticky it will be. The more dirt will get on the glue, the more glue will be left behind on previous objects or walls. And yeah, so like basically what I'm saying is humans are limited in their capacity to form loving, intimate, sexual, romantic relationships. And that is something that is ingrained in our biology for the sake of increasing the survival of offspring, because when, two parents, when a couple meet young and they're both, their first love and they have children, when they have that mechanism to actually bond and be attached to one another, they're going to be emotionally, biologically inclined to staying together. And that evolutionarily results in a greater chance of survival for the offspring. When you sort of violate this biological rule, the stickiness, the ability to fall in love and have a fulfilling, genuine, loving connection will go away. You'll lose that ability. So just like in objective statistics, like when a married couple, the more previous partners each respective individual of the couple has had, the rate of divorce of the marriage increases exponentially. And people attribute that to consciously they may have thoughts of other partners, they may be comparing their current partner to their previous partners, and that may lead to dissatisfaction. Sure, that's one aspect, but ultimately it is because the innate feeling of love is not where it needs to be and not what would be possible to ensure that the marriage and the partnership would last forever and ever, and the feelings would stay there, the attachment would stay there, the desire to be with that person would stay there. So yeah, obviously one of the main issues in modern society is promiscuity. So people like sleeping around, having lots of sexual partners, romantic partners, whatever, romantic impressions really before they meet the person they want to settle down with and have kids with. That is, one factor. And then also just how exposed we are to sexual romantic impressions in general in our society. So, for example, pornography, just seeing a lot of social media technology, seeing a lot of good looking people and being exposed to them from a young age, our brains and our nervous system aren't actually able to differentiate between what is a physical, tangible person in front of us and what is on a screen. So staring at a beautiful woman in person and staring at a beautiful woman on a screen, the same chemical reaction, the same feelings of love are experienced. Maybe to a lesser degree, but it still is, a relevant factor in why we are losing our stickiness. Another reason why, we're not able to have such strong bonds is the stickiness isn't there to begin with. So, one of the things that affects this is health. So someone who is unhealthy, who is diseased, who's toxic, who's deficient, whose body, nervous system is starved, their natural priority is to recognize stress in their environment and then to also search to relieve their deficiencies and the stress that it's causing them. So most people, they don't know that what will cure it is sunlight, being outside, good food, optimizing your health. They don't know that consciously. So the best thing they can do to relieve that, or the best thing they try to do to relieve that, is drugs, alcohol, whatever. And when you're in that mentally ill state and the priority is preserving your own life, preserving your own survival, being aware of stresses, you're in a hyper sympathetic state, when that is your body's priority, your body is going to allocate far less, let's just say resources, hormones, biological bandwidth to forming strong, loving connections. Because you're experiencing the highs and lows that are mental illness, that are physical deficiency, that are toxin interference, and they are sort of overriding and sort of clouding the judgment that is the innate feelings of love and attachment. And those feelings of love and attachment aren't able to solidify in, the brain, in the psyche, in the soul, whatever you want to say. The third thing is like physical attraction. So feelings of love, the first feelings of love always come from a physical attraction, because attraction is the recognition of favorable health, a potential partner who is favorable for reproduction. So they're basically looking for someone who's well developed and has no signs of disease or poor health. So what is attraction? Attraction is basically, it's not some genetic lottery. They have never actually proven that any beauty genes exist, but rather beauty, as it is objectively, is the correct development of your face and your body. So how does that occur? That occurs from the correct forces being applied through childhood, through development in the womb, and that also includes a upbringing that has more like nutrition that would allow the body to develop properly, and it would allow yourself to apply these forces correctly. So the forces include like nasal breathing, tongue on the roof of the mouth. This is something that like all humans are meant to be able to do naturally, but when you've got a diet that is like grain sludge and hypertoxic, like your nose will become stuffy, you have no choice but to breathe through your mouth, and that will then become the subconscious habit and lead to, over years and years and years, a poorly developed face. So the first feelings of love are from physical attraction, a recognition of health and a favorable partner. But in this day and age, I'll say 99% of people are essentially settling with their partner. The person they're partnered with, the person they've chosen to marry or settle down with, it's like ideally spend the rest of their life with, is not their first choice, physically at least. It's someone they've, through discipline, essentially, through conscious effort, have chosen to love and chosen to be with, whether it be out of convenience, whether it be out of fear of not having someone, financial reasons, for like social reasons. That is how a lot of relationships are formed nowadays. People don't actually get someone that they are 100% physically attracted to. Every single person would prefer to be with someone who is 100% physically attractive to them, with like obviously the good personality, good qualities that they like, but the physical attraction is the most important thing. So in a day and age where like the great degeneration of mankind is going on, humans are shorter, poorly developed, our experiences and interactions with other human beings aren't prompting the same sexual attraction and the same biochemical response that is creating an attachment as they once were. Like what can you do about it? How can you optimize your life and your choices to end up with someone that you have the most fulfilling relationship you possibly can? So one thing would just be like being aware that you are limited in your capacity to bond, and every intimate bond that you have with someone will leave a lasting impression, and it will mean that you have lesser capacity to create the next bond. So you need to really honor and protect and respect that purity if having a long-term fulfilling relationship is something that you like. So that means obviously you got to use the conscious mind here, but don't go into relationships that are not what you want long-term. Don't like sleep around. Don't like fall into the trap that is modern hookup culture, that is like hedonistic behavior, short-term gratification, because ultimately it will leave you like without the ability to have a soulful connection, and no one wants that. So I say to my little sisters, my younger sisters, like don't even like have your first kiss until it's someone that you're sure you want to be with, because in terms of biochemistry, your first kiss is basically, for the most part, losing your virginity, because your first kiss is the strongest impression of sexual experience. And then like another interesting point is how women have the capacity to fall in love with a sexual partner that they weren't previously in love with. You see this trope all the time in like the movie Friends with Benefits. Mila Kunis, she falls in love with Justin Timberlake, like even though they're just friends at first. ultimately because, like, in terms of evolution and survival, in the best interests of the woman to fall in love and to be attached to the man that gets her pregnant. Men also like form great attachments with partners, but just in like general, they are not able to feel those 100% genuine feelings of love if they didn't feel it initially. And you know, going back to evolution, that I would put that down to the fact that men are able to, you know, reproduce like unrestrictedly, basically infinitely, compared to women who have like a 9-month gestation period, and during those 9 months, you know, they need security, they need to have a partner to protect them, whereas men, they are not limited. They can like reproduce with 100 women in a week, you know what I mean? But don't do that. If you want a fulfilling, loving relationship, don't do that. And then also obviously like fixing your health, reducing the toxins you're accumulating, detoxing from those toxins, addressing all the nutritional deficiencies that you have that modern science wouldn't even know you have, you know, becoming hormonally healthier. So when you're healthier, you're gonna have the, like, your sticky note's gonna become more sticky. And then like for the third point, what can you do about it? In fixing your health, you're gonna become more attractive, because health is beauty. What is attraction? Attraction is the recognition of health, of reproductive favorability. So as a byproduct of like genuinely really improving your health, not just treating the symptoms, but actually addressing the root cause, you will become more attractive. So that's it. That's my video of why pure, genuine, fulfilling love does not exist in this day and age, at least to the degree that is possible. Thanks for watching.